This is Will Powers, Inverse News, Saturday, April 11th, 2020 at 6:22 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. In yesterday's press conference on the coronavirus, Jim Accosta from the fake news media CNN asked Trump a question, calling his press conferences a lot of happy talk in quotes. He stated incorrectly as fact that there were not enough hospital beds, ventilators, and masks, and Trump cut him off and disputed the premise of his argument. Of course, there is enough hospital beds because the actual number of people requiring them fell far below the models predicted. That started out at like 240,000 dead people, and now it's down to 60,000 from 80,000 dead as the model projections were revised. So that's good news, right? So the president is right in saying there were enough facial mask, ventilators, and hospital beds. And Raw Story, a far-left website, said it takes CNN's side and calls Trump's response angry. Trump handled this question perfectly. This is just them putting their spin on it when there's really that's so pathetic. There were enough ventilators and hospital beds, and Raw Story has this as their headline. Trump fumes after CNN's Jim Accosta asked if this coronavirus briefings are just happy talk. And in the first paragraph, you could see how they framed the story. Donald Trump lost his patience with CNN chief White House correspondent Jim Accosta when he questioned whether the hearings were whitewashing the challenges facing the government. Whitewashing? Trump is anything but whitewashing. He is facing the facts, and he says this is a terrible thing. And, it just kills them that he, still has the ability to have a positive attitude and say that we're going to get through this and things are going to get back to normal. I would say Trump was direct and curt with Accosta, and he treated that gotcha journalist with respect and firmness I wouldn't have. Meaning he, the president, wasn't going to put up with any of Jim's bullshit, like saying there wasn't enough ventilators when there were. But that doesn't stop the left-wing press from reporting false stories that hospitals were overrun and the bodies were piling up. In fact, I have seen more than one fake news story ginned up to the hilt, like this Washington Times story here. There. CBS News airs footage of overrun hospital during report on New York City. And in this article it says, CBS News blamed an editing mistake after airing footage of an overcrowded Italian hospital during a report on the coronavirus's outbreak impact on New York City. Skipping a paragraph, during the March 25th edition of CBS This Morning, producers aired a short clip of Dr. Deborah Birx, coordinator of the White House coronavirus response team, expressing her concern about the outbreak in New York City and whether there would be enough medical supplies. That is, skipping that paragraph to the next one, the segment then cut to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo criticizing FEMA for an apparent lack of ventilators before showing footage of an Italian hospital that Sky News had covered days earlier. The footage was identical to Sky News' report, which aired on March 22nd. This is the main hospital in Bergamo, in Lombardy province, the Sky News report said. It's one of the most advanced hospitals in Europe. So, not even close. Anyway, you know why CNN and MSNBC hate Trump? Because no matter how much shit they throw at him, he keeps a positive attitude. But in this clip from the news conference, he told Accosta this is anything but happy talk. So maybe the left-wing press won't look at it like that, but Trump put Accosta in his place, called him on his bullshit. See, here, I'll show you.
Mr. President, we hear from a lot of people who see these briefings as sort of happy talk briefings. And
no happy talk today.
You and some of the officials paint a rosy picture of what is happening around the country. If you look at some of these questions, do we have enough masks? No. Do we have enough tests? No. Do we have enough PPE? No.
Why would you say no?
Do we have enough medical equipment?
The answer is yes. I think the answer is yes. Who said no to that?
I'm saying this.
No, you're saying no. But who said no? But you asked me, do we have enough masks?
We hear from
yes.
Doctors, we hear from
No, you didn't say that. You said, do we have enough masks?
Does the country?
Yes. Do we have enough tests? Yes. Plus, we're developing new tests. Do we have enough? Do we have enough ventilators? Yes. Do we have enough hospital beds? Yes. We've built 20,000 hospital beds. We have enough hospital beds. Go ahead, Jim. Let's go.
What do you say to? I mean, you watch the coverage.
You know what I say?
Watching a lot of the coverage.
Well, a lot of it's fake news.
Doctors,
a lot of it's fake news. A lot of it's fake news. Let me just
when the doctors and the medical experts come on our air,
the governors reported
we don't have enough tests. We don't have enough.
The governor, yeah, depending on your air, they always say that because otherwise you're not going to put them on. Let me just tell you something. The governors have said last night they had a group of governors, 14 governors. They were together someplace, and they said it's been unbelievable. What's happened? We've been totally responsive. Ventilators. Everyone has the ventilators they need to a point where we're getting calls from foreign countries saying, you have all the ventilators, can we get some? And we're going to try and help some of these countries.
That clip, thanks to Breitbart News. He handled Accosta expertly, and that is why CNN didn't do a story on the confrontation between Accosta and Trump, because he didn't get to him. So you can see here on CNN's website that they didn't do a story. That's reloading again here. Anyway, they didn't do a story yesterday. They didn't do a story the day before today. And it's reloaded 3 times on me. So nothing. Trump spends Easter. This is, the new news. But I can assure you, back a day ago, it was no news on Jim Accosta. You can do a search for that yourself and see. So there you have it. Happy talking from the president is more like vitriolic talk, according to Raw Story, and CNN has nothing to say about it, while the right-wingers are covering the point of contention between it's a win for them. So you can see here in the right-wing press, like on the Hill here, Trump Accosta tangle after question about happy talk, coronavirus briefings, and the conservative news feed says Trump Accosta tangle after question about happy talk, coronavirus briefings. So it's in the right-wing press, but the only one of the left wing that I saw was Raw Story that covered it, and they just tried to make Trump look like he was all angry. You saw it yourself, he didn't look that angry. So there's always the potential things could get worse, and you got to be careful in these times, but not necessarily. It may not get worse, even if we stop the social distancing and come within a couple feet of each other instead of 6. It may not, but the thing is, for certain Americans cannot be out of work for months without consequences either. People won't have money to pay their rent or their mortgage. Banks will have too many foreclosures and they will go under, and the unemployment rate could go above 30%. And that's not good either. So think about it. This is Will Power signing off. Thank you for listening. This is Inverse News, and that is my website, mojomorning.blogspot.com, and that is my email address if you'd like to contact me, mountaincharlie@sbcglobal.net. Thank you again.